Hello everyone, I'm back again, and this time I wanted to go over something that comes up very often in forums and discussions and even amongst my friends. So you just got a PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and you don't know what the proper RGB setting is. And it's very confusing. Well, you're not alone. Most people don't know the answer, and guess what? Even though there's a proper setting, I'm not going to tell you you have to use it. Nope. I'm going to show you both, and I'm going to let you decide what you think is better or if you can even tell the difference. But I'm going to go over some things first. So, first thing you need to know is TVs have a very different range than computer monitors. And I'm not going to go into all the technical hoo-ha, but computer monitors have a range of 0 to 255. 0 being the darkest black and 255 being the brightest white. And TVs, on the other hand, use what we know as limited range, which is 16 to 255. 16 being the darkest black and 255 being the highest white. It might seem insignificant, but the range is quite different. So when we say full range, limited range, what we should be saying is full range PC or limited range TV. That's the best way to put it. However, some people prefer full range for their games. Now, here's the thing. Even though games are made on a PC with full range, when they are made into games, automatically, whatever your TV's range is and whatever you set your console to, the game's color will automatically adjust. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this in a good way. It'll automatically change to limited range. So, why would you set it to full range? Well, if you want to have a PC connected to your TV, for example, that's when you would set it to full range. Now, often what people do is they'll connect a laptop or something to their TV and they'll be watching movies. Maybe let's use Game of Thrones, for example, and it just looks too dark. Like they can't see a darn thing. They can't see anything that's going on. It's because their TV is in limited range and their PC is outputting full range RGB. So on your PlayStation, for example, when you go into your settings and you scroll down to screen and video and you go over to RGB range, note that I've got it set to limited. Now, when you have a LG C10 or even a C1 or some of the newer TVs, what they'll do is they'll have the black level set to automatic, and that'll automatically convert based on whatever signal you're outputting to it. However, most TVs don't do this, so then you have a mismatch of colors. Now, watch what happens when I change the setting to automatic when my TV's black level is set to low. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that got a lot darker. So let's go back to limited. You see the difference? More detail in here, not quite as dark. And what happens is when you do that mismatch of RGB range, your blacks completely crush details. And your shadow detail is crushed. And just details in general are crushed. Now, you can set both to full range. You would set your TV's black level to normal, and then you would set or high, and then you would set your RGB range to full. As long as both signals match, it should be still pretty good. The only problem with doing so is your TV was designed with limited range in mind, so even if you set both signals correctly, you will still be losing very slight amounts of detail, but the colors and everything else will look more punchy, if you will. So there is that. I'm not going to tell you which way to swing or the other, but I will tell you that the proper way to game on a television set is to set your RGB range to limited. And set your black levels to low or automatic, depending on what TV you have. If you have an automatic set TV, then you can just set both to automatic. Set RGB to automatic, set your black level to automatic and it'll do the work for you. If you don't though, and if you have a TV that doesn't do it, then you need to do this manually. Now, how to do this, you ask? So you're going to go into your settings, at least this is how you do it on OLEDs, on older OLEDs, not the newer ones with the newer software. You're going to go into your picture settings. You're going to scroll down until you get to picture options. Note where it says black level low. If you set it to full, then you're going to set black level to high. If you have an LG C10 or C1, you won't need to do this because it'll be on automatic. But just for peace of mind, you can still set it to low or high, depending on what you prefer. That's how you do it on an LG TV. On Samsung, I believe it's under external sources, and then you need to change the black level there. It might even be in the new game bar menu if you have one of the newer Samsungs. So why do you do this? Well, because if you don't have the proper black level, then your details get crushed and things are too dark, especially if you're playing a dark game. So this is why you do this. Now, let's not end it here though. Let's go over to our Series X. And Series X's settings are a little tiny bit different. Not by much, but you know, a little bit. Yes, I've been playing Psychonauts again. Okay. We're gonna go down to settings. We're gonna go down to TV and display options. And then we're gonna go across to video fidelity and overscan. In this screen, color depth should always be set to 24 bits because not all of your content is going to be in 10-bit. Now, arguably, if you have auto HDR on, it'll upconvert to 10-bit anyway. Regardless of whether you set 8 bits or not, your content will upscale to 10 bits if auto HDR is on, or if you output an HDR signal. Now, color space is actually RGB. So standard is limited RGB, and PC RGB is full RGB. So again, set it to standard black level low, or set it to PC RGB black level normal or high. Doing so will make sure that you have the proper black level set. And I'd highly recommend you leave it on standard only because the Xboxes tend to have a range of RGB outside of the normal. So what do I mean by that? Well, even the RGB ranges that I told you, Xbox's curve, if you will, kind of overextends that a little bit. So blacks are a lot darker, and so are whites being a lot whiter. And so you got to be careful with this. I personally found that the PC RGB was way too dark, even with full range enabled, and I highly recommend you stick to just what they recommend, which is standard. And so yeah, again, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your game console, it's your TV. You can set it up however you like. However, the proper way is to set limited range RGB and black level low, and or automatic and automatic. That is the proper way. And the other reason why you would do this, just so you guys know, is all of your TV content is mastered with limited range in mind. So if you go on to Netflix, or even if you just throw in a Blu-ray movie, your Blu-ray movie has been mastered with limited range in mind. So if you have it on full range, then you gotta actually switch it back to limited range so it looks proper, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I know most of you would just prefer to go from one to the next. You know, if you're not watching a movie, throw in a game. If you're not watching a game, throw in a movie. But not have to constantly adjust settings as you go. And this is why limited range and full range are very important to understand and know what they are. Just a slight little misstep in the steps that I showed you will completely mess up your picture, whether you're on OLED or not. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, smash the like button. If you didn't and you think I'm a big nerd, smash the dislike button. If you disagree with everything I said here, smash the dislike button. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion. It's all good. If you haven't, now would be a great time to subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate new subscribers. If you found this video helpful, share it with some friends. If you think that they got the wrong RGB settings, switch it up for them with what you learned today. And finally, I think that'll do it for today. So stay healthy, stay safe always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, subscribe if you like the content that you see. Goodbye for now.